Freaky Friends. This is Margaret.
And this is Colleen.
And we're the Cousins Weird.
Hi. Here we are after another small break.
A small break. Just a wee tad break.
It's just a busy summer, friends. And we're really sorry, but...
We've lost 3 people this week. Like, I say we. I mean the
I was like, oh my
we.
God, what happened?
Not,
and I just
not
realized...
like us personally, but I mean the world in general. We lost Tony Bennett, Sinead O'Connor, and Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee.
Au revoir, Pee Wee.
Oh my God, Colleen was obsessed with Pee Wee's Playhouse. We watched all the movies. She had the Playhouse and the dolls, and they were creepy as hell.
They were so cool. My mom sold them all.
That's so sad.
So sad.
Imagine how much they'd be worth.
She sold my brother's Star Wars stuff, too.
And Kiss.
The Kiss dolls we still had forever. I don't know where they are now, but...
I had that Kiss guitar.
Oh, yeah.
I sold it at one of your mom's
garage sales.
Yep.
Well, you think about yourself and you want to just kick yourself for it.
I think I sold my Chewbacca, too.
Oh, my God.
Well, his arms were broken off, so, yeah.
Well.
They were held on by a hair tie.
I remember that. Because
my mom is brilliant.
Yeah, she was the MacGyver. She was the housewife MacGyver.
Some teary, crying, wailing child. My Chewbacca's arms broke off. And she's like, oh, God.
Anything for her to be quiet.
I loved Chewbacca as a kid. I still like Chewbacca. He's a good...
Me too.
And people ask me who my favorite Star Wars character is, and I can't... It changes depending on my mood. I like Chewbacca a lot. I like R2-D2 a lot, too. I like Luke. I like Han.
Han.
Freaking who doesn't like Han? I like Leia.
Yeah.
You know? It's like...
She's a badass bee.
She's a bad bitch.
Yeah.
But right now it's The Mandalorian. Din Djarin.
Yeah.
He's the best.
My favorite, who I
like Yoda.
Yoda has always been, and I always loved Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just thought I wanted to marry him because I thought Colin Kenobi sounded really cool.
Hey, in the original 3, Ewan McGregor, holy hotness.
Yeah. However, I'm not saying this character is my favorite, but I do want to marry Kylo Ren. But I do love Adam Driver that much. Yeah, he's so hot. But anyway, I digress. I don't know where we came from this, but Pee Wee.
We were talking about Pee Wee Herman. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm. I'm a loner.
I was like that with Strawberry Shortcake characters. I had a lot of Care Bears too.
I have a ton of Strawberry Shortcake still.
I had the strawberry trolley. I had the gazebo. They had the little hammocks in it. I had tons of the dolls.
I still have them in my parents' closet.
Up until I don't know, the 2000s when we moved into my mom and dad's house. That baby strawberry doll, I had squeezed it. She still had strawberry breath.
I had that too.
I
should go through my closet and sell stuff that's in there. Or go through my parents' attic. I have so many old... I'm not going to sell my Cabbage Patch. But.
Only in the 80s would they make a doll whose sole purpose is to squeeze its belly so it could breathe strawberry breath into your face.
And we did it all the time. We were smelling strawberry.
You squeeze your little tummy. At
least your tummy still smelled good.
Yeah. Most kids,
when air comes out of my mouth, it doesn't...
Yeah, any other baby you squeeze its tummy, it's going to puke on you probably, or shit on you.
You're going to get some
and it's not gonna
cottage cheese going out at you.
Yeah. I'm going back to school, hopefully.
That's exciting.
Yep. I have my meeting on Thursday this week in Syracuse. I'm pretty excited about it. Hopefully I can afford it. Because I don't know. It's not a lot. It's enough.
Well, it's an investment regardless.
It's just too little to qualify for a student loan.
Oh, right.
So I think I have to go through the bank.
Right. I'm not going back to school.
Never
ever will I do it.
Yes, but it's beauty school, and it's school, but it's not really school. It's you get to go to school, and you learn stuff for a few days, but then you get to do manicures and pedicures on each other.
See, I don't want anyone touching my feet, so I could never. I would think manicures would be fun, but I don't want.
Well, you could aesthetics. You just rip, do
hair off people.
Yeah, you rip hair off people. Waxing is pretty fun, and facials are wonderful. Facials,
but yeah.
It's after I missed school for a long time after I wasn't there, and a lot of it is it's just a nice atmosphere to be in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love to learn. I just don't want to pay anyone for it any longer. I finally paid off my student loans. I don't want to pay anymore.
I know. I still have my student loan from aesthetics, but it's not that much. It's $6,000, so it's not too bad.
No,
it's not too bad.
Not too bad. I've paid my loan off a while ago, but I've been out of college for a long time.
My college student loans were disgusting, and I never even had a degree.
It's ridiculous.
When I went to art school, so it was stupid. It was like $27,000 for 1 year. Yeah.
I think that's what my total was.
That was my total that I had to pay back.
But I mean,
like after like interest and
for shit. Like between, I think that was for 3 years for me. I had to pay about that much. But it was a SUNY school, so
it might have been tuition itself was like $17,000. Isn't that gross to think about?
It is. It is gross. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. So
education and health insurance, our healthcare industry in this country, when it comes to insurance, is friggin' ridiculous, and it shouldn't be the way it is. People shouldn't be in debt for their medical stuff. It should not be a thing.
It really shouldn't.
Whatever. I won't even get going on that one. What are we doing today?
I have a fun little story that goes to Dover, Massachusetts.
Ooh.
Something called the Demon of Dover.
Ooh!
Or the Dover Demon.
I like it.
Yeah.
And you know, I love me some mass.
Oh yeah, Dover, Massachusetts. April 21st, 1977.
The year of Colleen's birth.
I know. I wasn't quite a year old. Just under a year old.
What was the date of it? I'm sorry.
April 21st.
Okay.
Around 10 p.m., a 17-year-old by the name of William Bartlett, goes by Bill, he was driving home with two friends in his car. They're both his age. Mike Mazoka and Andy Brody. And they're on a street called Farm Street. And he noticed movement on the side of the road. And the side of the road, there's this stone wall. And I'm using the term wall loosely. It's more like a loose pile of stones. Like they've just been there for a... Right. And he notices movement over there. And he kind of slows down. And he looks on the side of the road. At first he thought it was like an animal. But as the car's headlights shine...
Oh, no.
He was faced with something else. It was something else.
Ew.
He didn't know what it was.
But it wasn't an animal.
It was small. But this was unlike any animal he had ever seen in his life. Right? He described what he saw. This was to his dad. Like, he got home. He brought his friends home. And he is freaked out a little bit. He's talking to his dad. And he's an artist. He starts to draw. And he draws a picture of what he saw. And he shows it to his dad. He's trying to explain it. He said what he saw was an eerie, human-like creature between 3.5 and 4 feet tall, with glowing orange eyes, and a watermelon-shaped head. It was large, with no discernible mouth or nose. It also had large hands and feet with tendril-like, in quotation marks, tendril-like fingers.
Ew!
It was hairless, with peach skin that looked like wet sandpaper. So he said it didn't have any hair, but it had a weird texture skin. Like the skin looked like a strange texture, like a shark or something.
Ew.
And he said that he drove really fast away, and he asked his friends, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" And they're like, "See what?" And he started to explain it to them. Like, "No, you have to go back to find it." So he... No. Against his best judgment. Yeah. He turns around and he goes back.
Don't ever go back to something
like that. And one of his friends rolled the window down and said, "Hey, creature, where are you? We want to see you."
What?
Yeah, and he's just like, "Stop, don't." And they couldn't find it, so they drove home. He drove his friends home, and then he went home. And later, he said that they hadn't been drinking. They hadn't been smoking anything.
No weed.
He goes, "We were probably looking for beer, but we hadn't gotten any yet."
Right.
Like... You know, it's
they're on the prowl.
They're 17 in the 70s.
Looking for some beer. I mean, 17 in the 2023s, you're looking for beer.
Right. I think, like, the drinking age was either 17 or 18 at that point
18
anyway.
Usually, yeah.
So, I mean, they were just under the legal limit. Like, what else are 17-year-old boys going to do in 1977?
I know, there's not internet.
They're driving.
Yeah.
Like, really. So, that same night, about midnight, we're talking 2 hours later, a 15-year-old named John Baxter was walking home after visiting his girlfriend on Miller Road. He's about a half hour into his trek, and he notices a small figure approaching him. It's midnight, so he's walking down the road, and he notices something in the road ahead of him, and he couldn't really see. It's dark. couldn't really see what it was.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I know what it is, but I'm still scared.
And he assumes it's his friend, MG Bouchard, who lived near there.
MG, always playing the tricks. No, I don't know.
And he called out to him, "Hey, MG!" No response. So he continues walking, and they're both walking. And then the figure stopped. And so he continued to walk a little further. And then he stopped, too, and he's staring. He goes, "Hey!" And then the figure turned and ran down a shallow wooded gully.
Oh, I thought you were saying turn towards
and up the bank on the far side. So he turns and he runs off the road, and it goes down into, it was an old riverbed.
Okay.
Right? And he runs down there and he's up the other side. And this kid Baxter, he's like, "What the hell is that?" And he's like, "Well, is somebody hurt?" He follows them. And he can hear his footsteps ahead of him because there's dry leaves on the ground. And he's following where he hears footsteps, right? And he continues down the slope, and he looks across the gully, where he finally gets a better look at what was running away from him. So standing about 30 feet away was a small creature that reminded him of a monkey. He said its feet molded around the rock it was standing on.
Oh.
So, it was, flexible,
Oh.
And
it's holding on.
It had its large head was like a figure 8 shape.
Oh,
like it went in
bulbous
on the sides. Yeah,
on the edges.
Yeah, it went in the center.
Oh, upward figure 8.
Yes.
Now, I'm thinking infinity, but it was more
a figure 8. Yep.
Ooh.
And he said its light-colored eyes were looking directly at him. He said it made him really uneasy. Like it just stood there and stared at him.
Ew.
Right. And he said he'd never seen anything like it before. And he started to fear what it was going to do. So he slowly backed up the slope. And then as soon as he was out of distance, he turned around. He said he walked real fast.
Yeah.
To the intersection of Farm Street, which
where
is
the other kid was going.
The other kid was on that street 2 hours earlier and saw something.
Yeah.
And this kid's on an intersecting street a couple
right
miles away.
around.
So he sees this. He's shitting his pants. He's 15.
Yeah.
He was like, "I'm just going to back away slowly."
And then book
And then he's like, "I walked real fast."
Right.
And then once he got to the intersection, once he got on Farm Street, he was picked up by a couple in a car and drove him to his home. It was the 70s.
That's what you did.
It's the kids did. This couple's driving home at midnight and sees this 15-year-old kid scared shitless on the side of the road. Like, what the hell?
That's when you want the people to
I know, it's like,
up.
Please stop, please stop, please stop. I can't imagine.
No, I would have
I don't know what I would
in my
have.
drawers.
Yeah, I would also, do you have any extra spare pair of pants in here by chance? These ones are stinky and wet.
You might not want me sitting in your car.
No. The next day, Will Tainter.
Tainter.
I wrote that and I'm giggling the whole time. I am a 14-year-old boy.
I know. Tainter.
He's 18, and he's
Poor
driving his girlfriend, who's 15,
You
home.
Tainter. You're a taint.
Yes, and it's midnight, and he's an 18-year-old driving his 15-year-old girlfriend home.
Oh, gross.
Judging, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No. Abby Brabham was her name, and they're driving down Springdale Avenue when she spots something in the headlights on the left side of the road. It was in passing. So they're driving and he's driving and she's looking out the window, and it was on the left. Yeah, it was on the driver's side of the road, on the other side of the road. And she described a creature. It was standing on all fours. It was monkey-like.
Ew.
With a thin body, no hair, with a large oblong head, with no eyes, ears. No, ears, with no ears, nose, or mouth. So she couldn't see any nose or a mouth and had no ears that she could see.
Just eyeballs.
Right.
Eyeballs and
She was very insistent.
Head.
She said, it was either a tan or a beige color with glowing green eyes. And she was very insistent on the color when asked if they were orange.
Right.
She said, no, they were green. So that's where the story differs between, and that's almost what makes it more believable.
Right.
It's because their stories are a little different from each other, but they're both basically describing the same thing.
Yeah.
And some things, even cats, when you look at a cat,
depending on the way the light hits it,
they could look silver, or they could look yellow, or they could look green. So it could just be that type of
where the light reflected off it.
Yeah.
Depending on the angle.
Tainter said that he only glimpsed it, and he said that it had a large head. It was tan, but he wasn't sure. He didn't really get a good look at it. But
he was driving.
He was sure it wasn't a dog. He just saw something.
He's
small.
like, no, that's not a dog.
He said whatever it was not a dog, but he didn't really look at it. All the eyewitnesses state that they were not drawn drugs or drinking at the times of the sightings. Most of the adults in these teenagers' lives believe they all saw something. Bill Bartlett even drew a picture of it for his father. And he's currently a painter. Like, he makes his money. He sells his paintings in galleries. So, I mean, he's like a pretty good... And I'm going to show you the pictures, and you're going to...
No!
That's what the kids saw.
That's an alien, man.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The fingers and the head shape.
I will say, it kind of described the aliens from Close Encounters of the... Was it the
third kind?
Third kind, yeah. It means something with the mashed potatoes.
Hands gripping... tree silhouette.
That's Bill. That's the other Baxter kid. That's what he saw. That's the drawing of
John Baxter.
Yep, and the other one
was the other guy.
Was the Bill guy? Yeah.
That's horrifying. Those hands. Ew.
Most people believe what they saw was an alien.
Right.
That's what most of the people who have investigated it. Like, it was definitely an alien. There is folklore from this area. The indigenous people known as the Cree, they're out of eastern Canada, tell tales of a race of people they call the Manigishi, who are described as little people with large round heads, no noses, who like to play jokes on travelers.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and they have long spidery arms and legs, six-fingered hands, and live between the rocks in the rapids. The locations that these kids saw all followed. It was like over 2 miles in a vicinity, and it was near a river. A river wasn't too far away. So it's like it's near water. Yeah,
what
it does.
They were saying, but maybe even the things that the Cree were seeing were aliens too. And
I mean, there are some people who think it was a genetic mutation or a new hybrid animal.
No,
or an alien or something from myth or folklore.
Like, I definitely think it's an alien. I think that the Cree saw the same alien. Yeah. I think that's what it was. So it's part of folklore because it was fucking aliens.
This area of Massachusetts, Dover, in 1914, there was a man by the name of Frank Smith who wrote a history of the town titled Dover Farms, and he wrote the following, and I'm going to quote from his book.
Okay.
In early times, this road went around by the picturesque Polka Rock on the farm of George Battelle, which was called for a man by that name, of whom it is remembered that amid the superstitions of the age, he thought he saw his satanic majesty as he was riding on horseback by this secluded spot. So there's folklore in the area of a man who was riding his horse and thought he saw the devil.
Okay.
So that's where the demon part comes. This location has long been looked upon as one in which treasures are hid, but why anyone should go so far inland to hide treasures has never been told. However, there has been, at times, unmistakable evidence of considerable digging in the immediate vicinity of this rock.
Oh.
And there's also this, he talks about, there's a rock on this farm called Polka Rock, and they actually think it was originally called Puka Rock.
Like the pukas.
Right. Small creatures of Irish folklore.
And they have glowing eyes.
Yes. So, maybe it's a puka.
Maybe it's a puka. Maybe pukas are aliens. Maybe it's all one thing.
Maybe it is. Maybe. It's definitely interesting.
I mean, there are admitting there's aliens now.
And you can buy, I mean, they sell figurines of this demon of Dover in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like far-reaching, like the folklore behind this. And they said for the time, it's different than most alien sightings. What they describe is different than what most people describe when they say they've encountered aliens. They're usually tall, gray.
Right.
I mean, they're similar, but who's to say all aliens look the same?
I was going to say, not all people look the same.
It's true.
There's different race of people, then there could be different race of aliens.
Yeah, so this area has a history of unexplained events happening, especially the digging. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
The aliens are digging.
Looking for something they buried centuries ago.
Yeah. I mean, the government.
Maybe they're trying to dig their way to hell because they called the satanic.
Oh, maybe it is.
Maybe they're trying to dig up his satanic majesty.
Maybe they're trying to. Maybe he's going to sit upon the puka rock and be like, "Come to me."
When I said puka, I have to tell Colleen this.
Yes.
Because Colleen did a whole episode on the puka. On the puka.
They're kind of cute.
But yeah.
The pictures people draw of pukas are cuter than
that. And then it's kind of got its own lore. And I mean, like, even the police chief, they all believe the kids.
So my question is, no one said anything since then about seeing that? Or
the article that I got a lot of the information from was from 2006, and this guy, William Bartlett.
Yeah.
Did I say their last name right? Bartlett?
I know Bartlett was a name.
He's like, him and his wife were in a bookstore, and his wife picked up a book of unexplained events, and she opens it up and finds her husband's name.
Oh, that's crazy.
He goes, it's followed him. And even the town, they're like, it doesn't... Like, it always happens on, like, Halloween, and then on the anniversary, people will call and ask questions about it. And they're like, it just is, like, the legend that will never die.
Right.
And the guy is like, it's followed me my whole life. And he says he wishes it hasn't, because now, like, if you look up his name on the internet...
That's all you
find is, like, this alien.
He's an artist. Alien.
And these kids didn't go to the authorities. They, like, went to their parents.
Right.
And this one girl, Abby, her boyfriend was friends with Will Bartlett. And that's Bill Bartlett. And he told her boyfriend about this creature he saw. And he's just like, whatever, you know. And he didn't even think of it until his girlfriend started to describe what she saw. And then he's like, wait, what? And he's the one that was asking her, no, what color were the eyes? Green. Are you sure?
Right.
Yeah, they were green. They weren't orange. No, they were green. And it was just like, he was kind of feeding her incorrect information to see what she would say.
Right. Instead of her going, oh, yeah. They were orange or whatever.
She did. She was insistent they were green. And another man came to interview the kids, and he was a paranormal investigator, like an alien investigator. Yeah. And he said they all were believable. He goes, these kids didn't really, other than the one girl's boyfriend, these kids didn't know each other.
Right.
You know? He goes, and the fact that the first two sightings were within a couple of hours of each other, around the same area, by two kids that weren't even in the same social circle, because they were different ages. And he's like, the fact that they both described a similar thing, he goes,
the same area,
it's kind of like, you kind of believe them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because how would they even know to say that if they didn't know each other well enough?
It's like, and honestly, it was the 70s. Because no parent would let their 15-year-old kid walk home at midnight through the woods.
I mean, I wouldn't, but doesn't mean my kid didn't sneak out the window and walk through the woods, Margaret.
Well, he was at his girlfriend's house, and then he left. Like,
yeah.
Was he sneaking out?
He snuck out. I'm telling you right now. No, I wouldn't let it, but doesn't mean it don't happen.
Right. I mean, who knows? The kid, maybe he wasn't supposed to be out. But he's like, these kids were like, they didn't call the police or the...
Well, you probably wouldn't.
I think they eventually did tell the police because there were some, like... people were, the one boy told his dad and said, we should tell the police chief.
Yeah.
Just because there's some weird animal out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Just to be safe.
And then it was when the kids were telling their parents, and then the parents heard, like, oh my God, I had to bring my kid in because they saw something.
Yeah.
You know, it was more like a...
word of mouth spread of it.
Right. And they're like, they didn't call, like, the newspaper. They told their adults in their life.
Yeah.
Which is what most kids
I would do.
Right.
I wouldn't, like, if I was 15 walking down and I saw something fucking weird, I wouldn't.
I would have ran so fast that my legs would have been a
And probably I shouldn't have been out, so I wouldn't even have told my parents because I'd be too afraid that I'd get in trouble for being out. Right. So it would have died with me. Well, I told you. You would have told me. We probably would have been together.
Oh my God.
Remember the time we were in the camping and we were reading it?
Yes.
And we were on separate pages of it, so we were both reading it. And we said, we're going to spend the night in the lean-to when we're camping. And we thought we were so
away
cool.
from the tent.
Yes, away from the adults. And we were like, what? Was I like 12 and you were 14?
No, I think it was 16.
We were
Maybe
older?
It was 15.
15 and...
Because I was reading it, and that was like a junior...
and 13.
Yeah, that was probably closer to like 9th grade.
Okay. So I was like, we're early teens.
Yes.
And we were like, oh, we're going to sleep in this lean-to by ourselves. And so we're reading it, and we heard some random noise, and we got...
a raccoon. Oh, my God.
We were in our sleeping bags hopping up a trail. We didn't even get out of our sleeping bags.
Oh, my God, we're going to die. Don't read it in the woods.
We were screaming.
Even though it doesn't take place in the woods. It doesn't matter. That's a terrifying book when you're 15 years old.
We were screaming and hopping.
Oh my god.
Hopping up the trailer.
It's after us!
And their parents are like, what is wrong with you?
Our dads.
But that was funny. So we would be running, screaming. And then wake everyone up and they'd be like, what's wrong? And they'd be like, oh, they're fools. And they'd go back to bed. No one would ever think anything.
We always did shit like that, though. We used to go to the reform school. We should do a whole episode on that. We should have some of our friends on and talk about going there. Because we talk about Mango. We can talk about the reform school. We could talk about my brother and our father's experience with UFOs. We could have a whole episode on our weird stuff. We're definitely trespassing. Yes. And anytime a car would go by, we'd all get down on the ground. And I mean, we would fall and we're laughing. We would get in trouble. We would have totally got caught. Yeah. We're terrible at sneaking. Oh, we can't. We can't do it. You and I, especially you and I together. Because we start laughing and then forget it. Like, shh. It's not. And that just makes you laugh harder. Now we'll just pee our pants, too, because we're old. We got mommy bladders. So we piss ourselves in the process. And that would make us laugh even harder. God. Oh, my God. We would laugh till we peed ourselves when we were kids. Even kids, yeah. We would get laughing so hard that we'd pee our pants. This happened more than once. Yes, it has. And that just makes you laugh even harder, and then makes the other one pee their pants. Because that's the kind of life that Kai and I have had. The charmed life was wonderful. It's a charmed life. If you don't have someone in your life that makes you laugh so hard you pee your pants, you need to find someone. You need to find someone. Laugh till you cry or laugh till you pee. Some kind of fluid needs to come from your body. Usually or they're not afraid. Both. Usually it's the crying starts first. Yes. And then it morphs into peeing. Yeah. You can't cry anymore, so pee comes out. Yeah, I know. You have to get all the liquid out of your body. Well, that was a cool story. Yeah, it wasn't very long, but I thought it was interesting. I like any kind of spooky stuff, so it's right up my alley. Yeah, it was like spooky and alien-y. Mm-hmm. I think it was alien. Alien stuff freaks me out. Big time. I don't like alien things, really. And it's like one of those things where, like, do you believe in aliens? I go, I don't know. Like, I believe that it could exist. Well, the government now says there are aliens. The whistleblowers are talking right now. It freaks me. It freaks me out. But someone just posted on Facebook a meme that said, I've always believed that aliens were out there, but now that the government is saying they are, I'm kind of questioning it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. So true, though. But are we really arrogant enough to think we're the only intelligent life forms? That's what I said. I go, if there's life on this planet, the galaxy is immense. There's gotta be life elsewhere. Just like, what part are they in their evolutionary cycle? Are they a new planet? Are they old? Someone said something that I thought was interesting, that there aren't really aliens. There's just different, just like different universe, or different, like, parallel, not universes, but realities, and that's a different reality, and they don't like us at all. Which I don't like that idea either. I feel like that's scarier. I want them to like me, but leave me alone. Right. Unless you want to give me something nice. I don't know. I don't want to be impregnated with your babies or something, or prodded in any way. I know, the thought of, like, aliens, if they're, like advanced enough to be able to get here. Yeah. That's kind of scary. Yeah. That's why I never watched those. That means they're more advanced than we are. 100%. I'm positive they are. Because I believe there are aliens, and I believe people have seen them. But we have never gone to where they're from. We should go into the whole Egypt conspiracy with aliens. Oh, yeah. How the pyramids were really made. Well, there's a whole theory about that. Yeah. The mystery of the Sphinx. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Orion mystery. That one will blow your mind. Eek. The Orion mystery is just, like, unfathomable. Because, like, the three pyramids of Giza, mm-hmm. If you took a picture of the constellation of Orion, his belt, those 3 stars, and you place it over the top, they fit perfectly. Mm-hmm. And they're not even. And the fact that they are a perfect fit is concerning when you think about when that constellation was in that position in the sky and how long ago it was, and how would they be able to how could they have built that? It's that much older than we think. There's a lot of things, like the Sphinx has water damage. Right. How could that be a thing? because they said it's not wind erosion, it's water. What the erosion on the Sphinx's body, which has only recently been uncovered in the last century or so, because it used to just be able to see its head.
Right.
Like the rest of it was under the sand. And they excavated it, and they're like, oh, well, that's interesting. Like, there's water erosion on it. Like, how?
That gives me the goosebumps.
There was a span of time when the Sahara Desert was underwater. I mean, it's sand.
Yeah. Sand comes from where water is.
It's erosion.
Right.
And usually sand is near water. It's water erosion from rocks. And it's like...
It's rock crumbs.
How old is it?
It creeps me out. See, this is the thing. I have that...
And a lot of people can't believe that with the technology or the lack of technology the Egyptians had, how did they make all these things without anything? I mean, it is possible, but it's like almost like if you didn't see them, you wouldn't believe they could do it.
No.
It's like, did they?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to think of things that they built.
And that makes me feel really tiny, and that I have that phobia of big things, and part of that phobia in my head is thinking of things like that.
They're ancient.
That are ancient and been here for so long ago that it just, my brain hurts from it.
The thing that...
And it makes me want to vomit.
That makes me feel, like, insignificant is, like, you go to these tombs of these pharaohs that are 4,000, 6,000 years old, and you look and you see where they made the entrances way, and they padded it, and their handprints are in there. They're the handprints of people from 6,000 years ago. Like, their hands made that, and their fingers, you can see their fingerprints. It's just insane. It's like, that was a person, like, that did that. Like, they had a whole life.
And they're dead.
And it's just like, it just makes me feel...
And guess what? Our hands are going to be nowhere, Margaret.
I know, in the grand scheme of things, like, they left that part of themselves behind.
But then if you think about yourself, there'll be nothing left in 6,000 years from now when...
Hey, who's going to say I'm mummifying my ass?
I bet they'll find our podcast. Yes. And they'll listen to it.
Who the hell are these weirdos?
What are they even saying? Can you even understand the words? They'll have different slang and different whatever. We'll sound like Shakespeare to them.
I don't understand what they're saying.
We're going to talk about other spooky things at AcreCon. We're going to do some local lore stuff. So we're excited about that. So that's August 19th and 20th. And it's in Clayton, New York. You can get your tickets anytime. We don't know the exact date yet. I was told the other day that about a week ago, that they're making the schedule. So we'll know the exact day we're recording live, but we'll be at a table the whole weekend. So make sure to come by and see us and say hi. We want to see you. We'll have a little something at the table.
Yeah.
And make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram so that you know the date we're going to be recording live. Plus, we post pictures, and you'll get to see this horrific pictures of these people drew of these little alien people.
And the sculpture.
And this horrifying sculpture. Based
on the picture the kid drew.
And the color of it alone makes me want to die.
I know, it's awful.
That
it's
peach color,
it's
that
like
peachy,
yellow,
fleshy, icky color.
They should have made it of wet sandpaper.
Ugh. Don't like it.
The thought, it's like shark skin.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
Like moist.
But not on a shark. It's not something on land. No.
Walking around with a big head.
With a big head and
watermelon head.
Glowing eyes and tendril fingers.
Ew.
No thanks.
Yeah, so you want to follow us because we share pictures from our episodes, and you get to see when our episodes post, they go out on there. So make sure you're following us in those things. And what else?
If you'd like to reach out to us, you can send us an email at thecousinsweird@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us through our Instagram or Facebook pages with a direct message. Oh my God. Send us a direct message through Facebook or Instagram accounts. And while you're there, like us and share us and rate us because that helps.
Yes. Boost us up into the universe, would you, friends? We want more people to hear us, and I feel like we kind of hit a stagnant point.
I think a lot of it has to do with it.
Well, I know we're not consistent right now.
We haven't been consistent with our releases.
But you know what? Margaret broke her whole leg off, so give us a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
We're still recovering from that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to recover from, but I'm emotionally helping her recover from hers.
I'm still emotionally recovering.
But
for sure.
But you know, we've had some things happen this year that have. But regardless, we got a little stagnant, and we need your help. share us to everyone you know.
Yes, please.
Because I bet 1 out of 5 people you know would like it.
And everybody needs to know where ketchup came from. That was our last terrible trend.
Yeah.
And ketchup isn't terrible.
And even people that don't like bizarre, weird things will like a ketchup episode.
Yes. Even though
they may not know where it started.
With fish entrails, but you know.
I should have said this in the episode, but my brother is an electrician, and at one point he worked in a ketchup factory. And he said that it was grotesque. And there was bugs you see falling into it, and they were allowed to have lots of bugs, and it was just really gross. He saw maggots, he saw all sorts of stuff. He didn't say a brand. It's probably everyone that's generic out there is being filled with this, and he said it was grotesque.
Think it's all ketchup factories.
But you think any factory, it's not controlled. They allow like 5 maggots per can of mushrooms.
Pre-made.
Yeah, it's going to have bugs in it.
It's going to.
And any vegetable you buy that you plucked out of the ground has some kind of bug in it too. You don't even know it.
And they grow plants in cow shit.
Yeah.
So
poo-poo.
It's not like you can clean them in boiling water.
No.
You're eating your salad.
Exactly. So
I think it's a rinse.
They get a nice little rinse. It's fine. It's all copacetic. We're good.
It really is. The bugs are not going to kill you. This is coming from a vegetarian. Although the thought of eating bugs makes me want to puke. But the thought of eating a hamburger also makes me want to puke.
See, if I don't know the bug's there, I'm fine. I just want to pick one up and eat it. That's all. So, anyway, I got off track because that's what I do. Oh, if you want to support our podcast, obviously, we're like sharing us with your friends is the best way. But you can support our podcast by going to patreon.com/thecousinsweird for $1 a month. Super good deal. You get
Freaky friend.
You become a freaky friend. And you get a sticker and bonus content. And for $5 a month, you become a terrible trender. And you get a sticker, bonus content, ad-free episodes. I might bring one. A yearly gift and a quarterly Skype chat with Margaret and I, the Cousins Weird.
Yes.
So you should do it because we love you.
Yes. And that's a wrap. Stay freaky.
Bye.
Bye.